This is Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff, College Football Playoff Edition.
Ooh, here we are.
It is a College
Yeah.
Football Playoff Edition. Today is Monday, December 9th, and we're going to get into the College Football Playoff, get into some of these matchups in the playoff, as well as some of the first teams out and the bowls that they will be occupying, along with the NFL and some other fun stuff and other interesting news in sports.
Other interesting news in sports.
As always, thanks to all those interacting with our content on the socials at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
Ding ding.
Get that bell on, and don't forget to ring that dinner bell with the big old steak you get after you win all the monies. After listening to the betting episodes that come out on Thursday mornings, another guest coming in to this week's episode. Get excited for the peoples.
For the peoples.
Ooh.
Without any further ado, let's get into College Football Conference Championship weekend. I'm gonna need a little bit more excitement from the group.
I was trying and I felt like no one else was excited with me.
I, I'm waiting for something to be excited about.
Oh,
Yeah, Jim's waiting for the big commitment news, so let's just get rolling.
Like, there's not a lot of exciting things that happen.
Is that true?
College football, Jim, we still have it. Teams are still alive. They're in the playoff, hosting playoff games,
Playoffs.
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 Yeah,
Starting with the Conference Championship weekend on Friday night, we had Boise State, Ashton Genty, Heisman hopeful,
I
taking
think
down
he
UNLV 21-7.
I think he made a hell of a claim for it. I don't know that it depends on where the hype train goes. We'll leave it at that.
Well, isn't that the Dr. Pepper hype train you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
Fayetteville.
the voting is done. There's nothing left.
The voting happened when?
Voting happens after conference. Well, it has to happen within, I want to say Sunday or Monday. I think votes have to be cast at the
Right.
latest.
So I want to know like where the hype train, because they know who the voters are. And those schools send out like emails and they rep their player right at the end. I want to know how bad the hype train hit those voters. We'll never know, but I want to know. Because was Dion's PR team just smoking the emails and the texts and the
I thought I saw a clip on X from not Dilfer, who's another Orlowski had a thing that they sent him about Travis Hunter, and it was like a whole like almost like a trifold looking thing. It was weird. It's like you're spending this much money just to try to push a guy to vote for somebody. It's like
absolutely.
put it in your NIL.
No, I mean I think that's smart. I think what's Colorado going to have? What's their claim to fame? Like if he
We
can't get himself a Heisman Trophy winner, he's kind of just batting on draft picks, right? And those draft picks are great. Like Ohio State's used them but it takes time. Time he doesn't want to spend, right?
Yeah, I
So
mean, I
like
guess when you're not playing in a conference championship game, you got to do something to occupy your time.
right. Well, and you got to get recruits. Recruits want to come for something. If he'll make me a Heisman Trophy winner, he'll make me a first round draft pick, but he's got to build that. So like he's got to invest in that pick. As much as he's like, it's for the kids, it's him. It builds his prestige.
Prestige
Out
worldwide.
prestige,
Yeah,
prestige worldwide.
yeah.
Wide.
That's
Alex,
what we need.
any comment on Colorado, Travis Hunter, Heisman?
Nope. If you have nothing nice to say nothing at all.
Boise State does win the Mountain West 21-7 over UNLV. In Conference USA, we had the Hilltoppers
Hilltoppers.
Hilltoppers.
of Western Kentucky getting throttled by Rich Rod and Jacksonville State.
Yeah. Until he comes back to Morgantown.
Made a good claim for it, didn't he?
Oh, I will not at all be surprised. I'm putting that out there now if that becomes an actual thing.
Would not be the only
Big,
coach returning to a school this
no,
year
Yeah.
if it goes down.
no. Big money people want Rich Rod back. Rich
I
Rod's a
want
good
Rich Rod
football.
back.
Rich Rod's a good coach. Don't get me wrong. I will take nothing away from him. I think the way that he left WVU was poopy, and it makes me question his character.
It's business.
I don't think Jim, you don't question his character because of where he went.
No, and he can do the same thing again. Go to WVU, spend a couple years, and go to Michigan. I'm okay with that too. Do it.
Because you might win a game.
I might win a game.
Right. In the American Athletic Conference, America's team, Army, takes down Tulane 35-14.
Yeah, there were a lot
Yeah.
of people trying to make the argument they should be in the playoffs, and I'm like,
We'll get there. We will
Did
get
anybody
there,
even watch a
Alex.
snap of this game?
No.
yes.
No.
Oh, Alex.
I actually did watch a little bit of it. It was on. I mean, it was Friday night and it was on. So,
Alex is the only one of us that loves America today.
yep.
That'll happen. Into the Big 12, Saturday football. Arizona State takes care of business, beating Iowa State 45-19.
It was definitely the good Arizona State.
And the bad Iowa State.
Yeah, it was bad Iowa State. And then probably kind of concussed Iowa State.
Okay, yeah. We'll have that. Big 12 matchup. Alex, how are you feeling about Arizona State as the representative of the Big 12?
They are rolling right now. If I had to take a pick based on what I've seen, the last 4 or 5 weeks, they're no question my pick. So do your worst, Arizona State. Do your worst.
All right.
They're at least making it to the second round.
Yes, they are. Any other thoughts on the Big 12?
Let's get on to next year.
All right. And in Maction, the underdog, the significant underdog, Ohio University Bobcats take out Miami, Ohio, 38-3 in the battle for Ohio Maction royalty.
Good win for Ohio. Good win.
On game day, Timothy Chalamet, the only person to pick Ohio.
I picked Ohio.
Were you on college game day?
He did
I'm
pick
just
Ohio.
saying I picked
didn't
Ohio.
Specifically remember him talking about it. Flowers where flowers are due. He did do
Thank
that.
you. Thank you, sir.
As a best bet?
I did not, but I picked it for the work bet and said as much.
There we go.
True.
All right. Any other thoughts in Maction?
No.
In the SEC, in overtime, I'm not going to say instant classic, but an overtime game nonetheless. Georgia, second string quarterback, back to first string quarterback to hand the ball off in overtime, takes out Texas 22-19.
This game, this was good. This is a good game. You couldn't ask for much more other than maybe more offense, more scoring. But the first half was kind of a drag. I'm interested to see how Carson Beck's arm is actually. I don't know, hand, wrist, arm, whatever it was. I'm interested to see how that will affect him going forth.
Because even when he came back into the game to hand that ball
He was
off,
like holding it, like
he was not moving that arm.
no. And I wondered the way he fell, it almost looked like he like hyperextended. So I don't know if he like dislocated. I don't know. Something weird happened. So
Well, remember it was a play where he was throwing the ball.
it was the Hail Mary at the end of
Right,
the
and his arm got hit when he was trying to throw.
Yeah.
So I immediately said, "Oh no, he's got the Brock Purdy elbow."
Yeah. I don't know, but it didn't look good when he came back in just to hand off that ball. He was definitely ginger. So
Didn't necessarily mean anything. Like didn't hurt either team in this situation.
No,
I'm thinking more about
it
going
almost like
forward.
it helped Georgia. They needed a spark, and there it was.
And looked like it helped Texas. By the way, it all shook out.
What
Yeah,
helped
the game
Texas?
got better overall. So
I'm talking about the result of the game helped each team in their standing way more than I anticipated.
I think it weird. I think it meant just like the quarterback injury.
Like The
We'll get
quarterback
to,
injury, Beck gets to rest for another. He gets the bye.
If he can play though. I mean, like
Right.
I don't know if this injury was like
And then he
detrimental.
gets Indiana or Notre Dame. Texas, sure, they take the L. And yeah, they don't get a bye, but they get Clemson and then Arizona State. Okay.
ooh, them's fighting words, Alex.
I mean, on
Jim
paper,
just
you would
said you're
think
a
Texas
second-rate conference champion.
I'll say Texas should be
He's been saying
favored
it.
on paper in both of those matchups.
Right.
I agree. That's why they play the game.
Yep. One day at a time. Ohio State was favored against Michigan.
You're not wrong.
Sorry, that was for the Big 12. John.
You're not wrong.
In the Sun Belt Conference, the thundering herd of Marshall travel down to Louisiana and beat the Raggin' Caggins 31-3.
Kicking myself for missing that boat, the betting show.
Marshall had that handedly.
I know.
Louisiana was on like their third or fourth string quarterback, which I did not know. I think one of them
The
went down in the game.
real team from West Virginia.
This year.
This year, yeah. They have conference championship. We're in the Scooter Bowl.
So you're saying Marshall beats WVU, Jim?
Yes.
This year, depending on if Neil Brown's not there, no.
Like, I'm not just busting his balls. I'm telling him, like, with confidence, I think Marshall could beat WVU.
We've played several years and it usually ends up there.
I think this year, if it had happened, we'll never know. I understand that. I'm throwing out some things we cannot prove, but I think Marshall could beat WVU.
Depending on what WVU team showed up.
It's the Big 12. We never know what team's
Big
showing
12.
up,
We
Jim.
never know.
We don't.
Just be high scoring. We know that.
Maybe. Maybe. In the ACC, Clemson comes out.
And sneaks away.
Yeah.
They earned this one in the end.
They
Snuck
grinded
away.
it out.
They
had,
earned it in the
56
end.
yard-
They had to
They
win
should
the
have put a
game.
fork in SMU early and let them sneak back.
Was it a 56-yard field goal to win the game?
Yes.
Snuck back
Was
in.
that a record?
I think a Big 12 game-winning field goal record. I'm not going to say
Okay,
it.
I
I don't
didn't
know about
know.
any other type
Not
of
Big
Yeah,
record.
12.
I'm sorry,
Or
ACC.
ACC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought that I heard it was a record, but did not know specifically in what capacity. I didn't assume it was the longest ever, but
So Clemson gets their automatic bid, which obviously comes into a lot more conversation in the college football playoff when that is announced. So we'll get into that here shortly. And then another piece of the nightcap in the Big Ten, Oregon outlasts, outscores, and ultimately outplays Penn State, beating the Nittany Lions 45-37 in an overall, I would say, entertaining game.
yeah, for sure. That I will give Penn State credit. I mean, they they had answers. They were just always like one step behind. It's like they couldn't get that close the gap completely.
From what I saw of it, Oregon is fucking fast.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
one player in particularly, Tez Johnson, is an
Yes.
absolute nightmare.
Like, I don't see how this isn't just a lock for them to win it all. Like, I don't know. They're so damn fast.
Well, if you guys win first round, I mean it's a rematch.
They're fast.
In a neutral field, fast track, Oregon is going to be tough for anybody to beat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Their only hope would be is if Penn State ended up beating them and Oregon had to play somewhere, cold temperatures, just to neutralize some of that speed.
Yeah. I still think they would have showed the fuck up.
Oh, they'll still show up. I just mean I think that's about the only way to attempt to neutralize
Yeah.
everything that got going on there. So, as a Penn State fan, I was overall pleased. They never gave up. Drew Aller showed why he is the quarterback of the present, the future, and is starting to get more attention.
I literally can't
in the
listen to this
NFL.
shit anymore. Like, I
I
can't.
was just gonna
can't
say I
do
know
it.
Muff's not looking, but Jim is in distress.
Like, this pisses me off. I jumped some Penn State fan for having a similar fucking approach on Friday. Like,
On Friday before the game even started.
Yeah, because they were like, if we hang in there, it'll be all right. It'll be a good. Shut the fuck up.
Jim, just because your team's not playing this week doesn't mean you get angry at other people.
I don't care. Like, you
You're
want
on.
to win the game, and
I
if you
didn't say we didn't want
lose,
to win the game.
it feels like Penn State fans are just like happy to be there.
No, I feel like given the way they've showed up in some of these bigger games, this is something you can build off of. Like, hey, we hung in there in a game that we weren't even projected to be in at the beginning of the year. And now we're going to go in the playoff kind of on a little bit of a high here with these expectations that, hey, we can make some noise now. We're battle tested. We have a close game against Ohio State. We have a close game in our conference championship against Oregon. There's a lot to build off there. It's not like they got dismantled.
One possession away from being the Big Ten Conference champion, two possessions away, and possibly being undefeated, Jim.
Okay.
While you were sitting on your couch on Saturday playing NCAA. It's
And
okay.
you can talk all
Okay.
kinds of shit about Ohio State.
Tour,
I'm okay with it.
2024.
I just think the Penn State fan base's attitude is foreign to me. As long as we hang close, because then what's going to happen? Like hypothetically,
It's not. It's not. We
if
want
you
to
get all
hang
the way to the
close.
semis and you're against Georgia, and Oregon's against whoever comes out of the Texas Arizona State, and then you hang tight against Georgia, are you going to be like, well, we played Georgia close?
No, you say we got to the college football playoff semifinals. This is not a terrible year. Let's continue
That
to
would
grow.
blow my fucking mind.
When's the
I
last time
would
Ohio
lose
State won a
my
national
shit.
championship? What year is that?
When was
2016?
the last time Penn State won any national championship?
Jim,
The 70s?
it was in the 80s.
I would be livid. Especially like a broke dick
Because you are an
Ben.
absolutely spoiled Ohio State fan that believes you're going to win the national championship every fucking year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you don't. And yet you still
I
think
still
that's going
want
to
to
be what
have that
happens.
mentality. I still would have that mentality.
And then when you lose, you get pissed at the world. And then the world
Yeah.
is against you. And then this
I
is
did
your
not say the world
attitude.
was against me.
Oh, it's Ohio against the world every
I would
other
like to
day.
have the
Ohio
record
against the
stricken.
world. Oh my
I
God.
did
We
not say
cannot win
that.
against the rest of the world.
I did not say
Well,
that.
then you forgot about the sky falling in Columbus when that happens too.
The sky does fall in Columbus, but I did not say the world was against Ohio State. Not once. All year.
Not once all year.
When did I say that, Muff?
I don't know. Don't you have a shirt that says it?
Yeah, prove to me that you didn't.
I
Because you
did
say
not
it
say
doesn't
the
make it
world is
true.
against Ohio State.
The
I'm
world
not
is against
playing the
Ohio. I
refs.
said Ohio against the world.
Ohio may be against the world,
That means that the world is then against Ohio.
but to insinuate that like I'm saying that it's rigged or
I
that
never said that you
everything's
said it was
stacked.
rigged. When did I say that?
When
Zero.
you say it's against us, that
The world is not rigged against Ohio.
that's when you say it's the world against Ohio.
That doesn't mean it's rigged against Ohio. It means there's a contention. There's there's a matchup there, Jim. Doesn't
I
mean it's
think
rigged against you.
my only point is that Penn State is just happy to be there, and that's fine, and that's why you lose every time.
The college football playoff bracket was released on Sunday at noon.
Yeah,
We had, let's start with the first two teams out, Alabama and Miami, Florida. Due to Clemson beating SMU, that was ultimately what led to this, Alabama pushed out. First team out.
which I'm okay with. I don't see I have a problem with that.
No overall problems. I think the message, and correct me if you think I'm wrong here, from the committee is you get to a conference championship game in a Power Four, or at this point, a Power Four specifically. It is not going to hurt you to lose as long as you do not lose in a terrible fashion.
Yeah,
It can only help you if you win, right? That seems to be the theme of this year
yeah, I agree with that.
because we had obviously Oregon just solidified their number one. Penn State fell, but did not go behind anybody by losing. right? They kept the integrity of their positioning, aside from teams jumping over them that won. SMU lost in the ACC, maintained the majority of that integrity of their positioning. And Texas, by losing, overall did not impact them negatively as far as their positioning, right? Against the teams based on the wins and losses there. And Arizona State obviously just put themselves in by being a Power Four champion. So, do we think that this is going to be a consistent message from the committee?
No, hell no. Hell no. No, they're going to change this and how they do this for sure.
Because
Bitches from Tennessee and bitches from SMU about going to Happy Valley and Columbus in the winter. And I think the Indiana Notre Dame game is going to be a bust in the ratings. I think it's going to be a giant flop. Uh, I think those three first round games are going to cause headaches. It's great on paper. It looks fantastic. Like it's what we've bitched about for years. We want new matchups, we want new things, we want parity in the playoff, but when we get what we want, I think it's going to burn us.
burn in the way of how the rankings are done or how the matchups, how the games are going to be, where the location of the games.
All of it.
Yes, just
I think
yes
it's
to
all
everything.
going to just blow up in the fan, the real fan, not the mark, but the real fan face.
All right. How long do you think that takes to happen, Jim?
I think this year.
This is the
I think
year.
it's this year.
We get 1 year, one and done.
Yeah, before the committee goes, all right, wait a minute. We screwed up.
We got to rethink this.
Yeah.
All right. So the first round match. Well, first the first round buys. The highest four ranked conference champions: Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, Arizona State. Clemson being the fifth conference champion in the brackets.
I agree with that.
I don't know that I agree with that, but
You think
whatever.
Arizona State should be below Clemson? Do I guess? Or do you think Boise
Uh,
State?
I don't know that Boise State should have the bye.
Because they're non-power five.
Yeah. I get the
I,
whole rank. I understand how they did it. I understand the criteria,
mhm.
but like from a quality of game standpoint, I don't know that I would do that.
As far as whoever they're going to play in the second round, you don't think they would be a befitting matchup? They should earn
Correct.
their way into the second round.
Yeah.
Okay. So what, if that's the case, what does a non-Power Five conference champion have to do in your mind to get this first round by, Jim?
They would have had to have a non-conference game bigger win
And be undefeated?
and beyond. Well, yeah. Yeah.
All right. So strength of schedule matters to non-Power Five teams, but as Nick Saban would say, it does not matter to any other team.
Yeah.
Not, yeah, that what you're saying? So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter to the power conferences, but the non-Power Five conferences have to play some level of out of conference, at least one game
Yeah.
that adds to their quality of
Yeah.
record and strength of schedule, et cetera, so forth.
Yeah. For
All right.
me.
Okay.
So what about Boise playing Oregon? That was Boise's
That,
only loss all year.
then they lost. And to me, that's why they shouldn't have the bye. Like,
They lost by a field goal. How many? I'm just saying, like, if we're going to
yeah.
use that as a comparative tool,
Yeah, that's fair.
how
That's
many other
fair.
teams have been aside from Ohio in one score games with Oregon?
Just
Um,
them at Ohio State, right?
Penn State, Ohio State was Maryland. Or no, they pulled away at the end. Oregon did. So I think Penn State and Ohio State are the only teams within a score the whole year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So Boise falls into at least that category. They didn't win. I'm not going to say they won, but as far as a quality matchup they have to their credit.
I don't, in my opinion, like we'll do all this, and I agree. I see what they did. Yeah, I understand what you guys are saying. Cool. I think they should take the 12 once they've made the 12 and then make the matchups so that it makes sense.
Yeah, that's been a discussion, especially over the past week, is let's just rank them 1 through 12 and the top four get the buys.
I don't have a huge problem with that.
I don't either. I mean, yeah, just do what they do with like college basketball. You win your conference championship, you're in automatically. Doesn't mean you automatically get a bye.
Because then you're looking at, in that situation, looking at Oregon, Texas, right?
Top four would still get a buy.
No, I'm saying who's your top four?
Oregon, Georgia.
No. How is Georgia two? Because they beat Texas? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Georgia is 2 in the full-on rankings.
Okay. Georgia's two. Who's three?
Oregon, Georgia, Texas, Penn State, I believe would be the top four because I don't think Boise's just 3 because they're the a high rank conference champion, so is Arizona State. So
That's all right. You're doing it totally. Like, what criteria are you using?
the college football playoff rankings.
Yeah, no, fuck all that. That's
That's what we
what I'm
just said,
saying.
Jim. That's what we just said,
That's
Jim.
not
That's
what
what
I'm
we.
saying. That's
Then
not
what
what
are
I'm
you
saying.
saying?
I'm saying you take them. Yep, they made it in, right?
Hmm.
And then we rank them.
That's what the college football rankings are, Jim. The college football playoff
How are you
ranks
going to rank
teams.
Ohio? All right, then.
College
Okay,
football playoff
cool,
ranks teams 1 through
fine.
12.
Then you and I would argue over Penn State and Ohio State, right? In that scenario,
In what this year's scenario,
correct. We would argue then over Penn State and Ohio State when we brought them
Why?
all together
Why?
because of the head-to-head.
Okay, the head-to-head, but Ohio State has 2 losses and Penn State has 1.
no, Penn State has
They
2
have
now.
two now.
But
Well,
you're
outside of that
saying then
conference championship.
are you then disagreeing that playing in your conference championship can hurt your chances?
That's what I was just going to say. You'd have to do that without conference championship
Right.
considerations.
Then teams will never play in conference championship games. And the conferences would, aside from maybe a little bit of a money grab, have no reason to do that if it were going to hurt their teams. Like that's always been the argument about this conference
Heck,
championship is if we can hurt our
But I'm
chances.
saying, Muff, this is the conversation we would have. Like, I get what you're saying. What you're doing right now would be the argument we would have
Right.
in the room.
Right.
Okay, yeah, fine. Then what we're doing now is yes, that I agree with what we would do
Well, this is the
in order
same
to get to
argument
the
that they
12.
were having in the room this year.
That's fine. Yeah, I agree
do
then.
conference championship count.
Yeah, that's fine. I thought you were taking some like formula, and I was like, no, fuck that formula. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying then.
Yeah, that's they rank them. It's just when you see the playoff bracket, they've reseeded them based on where they are. So Clemson is a legit 12, like ranked 12, the
Right.
12th team in. Those top four is where it gets where they're not the true representation of where they were ranked in that top 12.
Yeah.
That's the issue as far
So
as when
then
you're
the
looking at that
buys would
bracket.
go Oregon, Georgia, Texas,
Penn State,
Penn
as
State.
that sits right there.
Right. Okay. Then Ohio State would be at the top of the bracket.
If they did it based on rankings, Ohio State would have been 6.
Notre
So
Dame was ahead of Ohio State, I believe, in those in the rankings, Jim.
yeah, so Ohio State would have been the 6th playing the 11th Alabama if they did it based on the rankings.
Yeah, I'm okay with all of that.
So your first round matchups would have been Notre Dame hosting Arizona State,
Yep.
Ohio State hosting Alabama,
Yep.
Tennessee hosting SMU, and Indiana hosting Boise.
That makes sense to me. Like that makes sense to me. I like that.
So then what? Then your top 4 would be Oregon, Georgia.
Georgia, Texas, Penn State.
Those were the final rankings.
I like that.
Yeah, I
And
think I
then
like that better too. Just rank them 1 through 12 in the conference champions. Yeah, you get in automatically no matter what.
It's
That's
just, but you have
basically
to
what we
sit
have
where you,
here.
but you could theoretically then, Nate,
Yeah,
still have this Clemson SMU potential situation where they're outside of the top 12 and they still kick a team out. Like that still could be in down years for any conference,
Right. Yeah.
where that goes down.
Still put some weight on a conference championship, but don't just say, "Oh, well, we have to give the top four a bye." No.
So basically,
Okay.
you're doing what we're doing now. You just don't necessarily automatically get a bye.
Correct.
Right.
And we don't assume that non-Power 5 gets in.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless we're saying that would be part of this, which could then
I
still
also
kick teams
like
out.
that's 3 years down the road. I also think that if you aren't in a conference, get the fuck out.
I have always felt that way.
Yeah. Sorry, Army. Just kidding.
You either
Army's in the AAC, Navy.
No, who's the one? No, Navy's independent, right?
Yeah, Navy's independent. Army's in the AAC.
you don't get anything. Like Notre Dame being in there, no, get out of here.
I don't have a problem with them being in there, but
I do.
they're
It's the same argument you're going to make to me about Penn State should be above Ohio State because they played a conference championship and they should get credit about having played that extra game. Correct. Notre Dame willfully chose not to be in a conference, chose not to have an extra game. So
and dropped.
but they should never they should get no consideration because they don't beat each other up in a conference.
Well, they essentially punish themselves knowing that they'll never be a top four seed given this current format.
But they seem to always sneak into shit
But
because
this
they
is the
get to
first.
cherry pick their schedule. They don't have to play. They don't have to beat.
Well, yeah,
people
they can
up.
cherry pick their schedule, but then that's the blessing and the curse where, yeah, you can pick on who you want to play, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, we don't have that opportunity to have a conference championship. Or, yeah, we
But
can go play these schools that we want to play, but if they have a conference schedule, we can't necessarily schedule these guys that we want.
But they're in national title contention every time.
Just because of their
How
brand.
many years?
They're
Kick
only in
them
there
the
because of their
fuck
brand name.
out. Kick them out. Unless you get in a conference, kick them out. You can take that brand name and play in the Big Ten, the SEC, the AC. Pick a conference you want in and come kick the ass kicking that all of these. And I'm not, whether you're Big 12, ACC, whatever, come beat each other up like the rest of them have to beat each other up.
Yeah, I think in every other sport they play an ACC schedule.
It's bogus.
But Jim, our media rights.
Yeah.
In the Peacock and the NBC. All right, our first round matchups: Tennessee at Ohio State. That line has opened at 7.5 in favor of Ohio State.
Are you looking at that right now?
I'm looking at that right now.
On
FanDuel. Tennessee at Ohio State.
That line's going to move like crazy.
In the Horseshoe, December 21st, 8 p.m., ESPN, ABC. It's minus 7.5 at plus 100, which means that right now it's better odds to take Ohio State minus 7.5, but the safer bet as far as odds would seem to be Tennessee plus the points. But I anticipate we're going to see line movement in all of these games over time.
Tickets go on sale Thursday. The minimum price, I'm thinking about it. Minimum price is $100.
Oh, that's not bad.
I don't think you'll ever see one of those.
You could get one. That's not bad.
I think I saw right now the whiteout's 200 is the lowest price I saw, and that's a noon kick. Indiana at Notre Dame on the 20th, 8 p.m. ESPN ABC.
Bullshit.
Well, we got to have Notre Dame be a standalone game, Jim.
Yeah,
Notre Dame favored by 7.5.
Bayou beats the dog shit out of them.
In the battle for
but Jim,
Indiana.
I'm Kurt Signetti. I should have had a home game.
Yeah, I hope you should have had a home game.
Nah, I don't know if we can go that far with this one.
Touchdown,
Just
Jesus.
yet. Next year he does what he does. They'll probably have a good chance for a home game. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but it's most likely going to be more difficult than this year, which means they'll have more high profile wins if they only have one loss. Next we have SMU at Penn State, 21st noon kick
on TNT.
Can we just continue just to screw Big Ten teams in these noon kicks?
Terrible.
A whiteout. It's a whiteout. It's a whiteout at noon again.
See, I don't think that whiteout thing. I think Penn State guys don't really understand this. Why are you burning your whiteout for this? Is every game going to be a whiteout?
What if they lose? It's done.
The only opportunity, Jim.
You got to do what you got to do. You can't sit there and not do it.
It's the last home
I,
game of the year.
We do the stripe out. We'll just do the stripe out the next game, which is a white out with people in the blue down the middle. Like same
I
effect, buddy.
I think you save that whiteout for an actual night game because you're going to get one. You're going to beat SMU. Come on.
Yeah, but then you're
Yeah,
not.
but this is the only round that there's games on.
It's not going to be at Penn State next time, Jim. After the first round, they don't play home games.
Oh, fuck. That sucks.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, this isn't the yes.
You're right. My bad.
Penn State opening line 7.5. So all
Do
these lines
something
are 7.5
crazy.
thus far.
Everybody dressed like Joe Pa.
You've got some of those guys that already do that. Next, we
Okay.
got.
Did you see the Oregon Duck on McAfee?
I did.
Yeah,
What do you think about his comments saying the Nittany line just looks like an old tube sock?
he does.
I mean, let's be honest. They have not necessarily put a lot of effort into rebranding that mascot from what it was originally put into play.
I don't think they've upgraded the costume in since the Joe Paw days.
It was before Joe Pa when all that went down. Um, and yes, I agree. It's low budget. It's low, but it's classic. It's classic. And in the last matchup in the first round, we have Clemson at Texas. That game has opened up 10.5 point favorites for Texas.
A lot of orange.
Yeah, Orange Bowl.
It may as well be an Orange Bowl. Uh,
That's a big line.
how much do we think we see Arch Manning in that game? Before, if the game gets out of hand, obviously we'll probably see him. But I was saying the first 2 quarters, how many snaps? Over under 4.
Over.
Under.
Over 4. Under. I'm gonna go with the over. I think there's not a lot. There's enough clamoring for Arch Manning to get more snaps right now.
Mhm.
Quinn Ewers is not instilled a lot of confidence after the last game for the Texas faithful.
Yep.
And obviously we have Oregon taking on the winner of Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia taking on the winner of Indiana, Notre Dame, Boise State taking on the winner of SMU, Penn State, and Arizona State taking on the winner of Clemson and Texas. A lot of discussion about the potential path for Penn State having their
It's
first
an
round
easy
matchup
ride.
against a ACC championship game loser and then the non-Power 5 representative in Boise State.
They should make the national championship, in my opinion.
Who?
Penn State. There's no reason
They should make to the semifinal.
they're gonna. Okay, all right.
So what's the narrative if they don't?
Well, at least we were there.
I don't think that the narrative is going to be if we lose in the first round, at least we were there, Jim.
You're not gonna lose in the first round. That's ridiculous.
Just saying.
If they do, Jim, what do you think for James Franklin?
Oh, he'll get a 5-year extension.
Hey, got to put yourself in positions to win. Not everybody has that opportunity, Jim.
You're not wrong.
Lots of teams don't have that opportunity year to year. Unfortunately, Alex knows this pain.
Yes.
All right. Anything else on the college football playoff?
Ohio State and Tennessee is probably one of the toughest matchups I was dreading out of this whole thing.
What are you dreading about it?
I don't know that we match up well against Tennessee. I think Ryan Day has the potential to be out coached. I mean, I like what's his face from Tennessee. I can't pronounce his name.
Heupel?
Heupel. There we go. I like him a lot. I think he's got a very good offensive mind versus, running up the middle.
Hey,
Ryan
diddle,
Day.
diddle.
That's old Ryan Day.
Jim, there's the new tagline if you need it.
I'm
To
gonna
be
use
like
it.
a dopey Ryan Day voice. Hey, diddle diddle, run it up the middle.
That's gonna be Ryan Day. Let me tell you what.
If
So
you need that, Nate got it for you.
it's terrible. But
I'm most interested in this Indiana Notre Dame game. I really am.
really?
Yeah.
That'll be
Like, aside from watching the Penn State game, I'm saying from a matchup perspective, I'm interested to see how that game plays out.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that one is the most intriguing. I'm not interested in watching that one, But it's like, okay, Signetti talks a big game. Are they going to be able to show up? And then if you're Notre Dame, it's like you have the stigma that you're Notre Dame, so you better put this game like on the back burner and just put them away.
I wish, and obviously it doesn't matter. I wish Ohio State would have played Clemson at the top there, and we could have had an all Big Ten semi. Like, that would have been cool. As a Big Ten fan.
I mean, we could have an all Big Ten semi on the other side, theoretically.
Yeah, but not the other. We still got to meet there in the quarters.
Yeah. I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how this plays out.
Who gets the TV deals for the quarters? There's the other question. Like that is
The bowls. Whoever has those bowl TV deals.
so like Ohio State and Tennessee is a night game. How much one bet Ohio State Oregon's a night game?
It's the Rose Bowl. Will it be a night game?
No, it's noon kick Eastern. Or no, it'd be 3 Eastern.
3:30. Yeah,
Yeah,
3:30, 4
hold
o'clock
on.
kick.
Let me open the ESPN app. I think they already have those times set.
Yeah, these are already set based on
Good.
the traditional.
So the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Arizona State versus whoever, is on New Year's Day at 1 o'clock. Oregon and whoever in the Rose Bowl would be New Year's Day at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Night game.
No, that's a 2
5
o'clock
p.m.
game.
is a
2 o'clock game West Coast, Jim.
Remember, Jim, it's
Oh
in
yeah. You're right.
And then Georgia versus whoever in the Sugar Bowl, 8:45 Eastern. That would be in Little
It's
Caesar.
New Year's Day, correct?
Yeah, New Year's Day in New Orleans. And then
Mhm.
Boise playing
the-
either Penn State or SMU would be on New Year's Eve
7:30.
in the Fiesta Bowl at 7:30 in Arizona.
Penn State's gonna get a night game, buddy. If you win,
I mean,
First-
it's 4:30.
first time all year, right?
4:30. I mean, they had a Friday peacock game.
Well, you won't know if
No.
it's a night game. Those will be in a dome.
It's just darkness for everybody. Getting the Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers
hell.
treatment. Other college football news, we have a lot of the other bowl games. So if anybody has any bowl games of note, feel free to toss them out because I did not look into this. But thank you for Nate for doing what you did do on this. We have Army Navy coming up this weekend, along with the Heisman Trophy presentation.
Yeah. I don't have the names of the bowls, but Pittsburgh and Toledo.
Woof, woof.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm very interested in that on Christmas Eve. You give me that face, Alex. But that's the only game we have to watch on Christmas Eve.
We don't have Hawaii in any type of game.
Not on Christmas Eve.
What?
When's the Bahamas Bowl?
I don't know. I'm just looking at games. I don't know the
Yeah.
names.
You're just looking at
Well, if you look on the
lines.
ESPN app, it should tell you the name of the bowl.
I
I'm
think
looking at
Jim's.
FanDuel.
Yeah, Jim's in the betting app, Nate.
Come on, buddy.
Hold on.
There was one more I wanted to bring up. Marshall Army.
That'd be a good game.
Yeah. And then there was one for Alex. No, there was one for me. I'm sorry. Ole Miss versus Duke.
Okay, so Pitt and Toledo is the game above Sports Bowl.
It's gonna be a good game on Christmas Eve.
Sounds about right.
On the 26th.
Oh, it's the day after Christmas, Jim.
Alex, do you have you guys weren't bowl eligible?
No, WVU made a bowl game.
We
Yeah.
play Memphis.
Oh, okay. There we go.
It's before all of everything else happening, Jim.
Is it legitimately this Sat? It's
Yeah.
the 17th.
It's the 17th. It is.
And the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl.
Yep.
Ooh, we got the
Do you
Pop
guys
Tarts
have
Bowl.
discounts on it? As season ticket holders, do you guys have discounts?
I don't know.
Like,
Alex may receive an email at some point. I don't know.
I got one that said like there would be an announcement about WVU's allotment or whatever, but I will not be in attendance on.
you don't want to go to the Scooter Bowl?
I'm not gonna travel with that one, buddy. Not happening. If anything, I'm gonna pull my money and go to the Penn State game.
All right.
What are the games we got going on, Nate, Jim?
That's the only ones that are worth a damn to me.
Well, and I'm just like, I wish they would have done what they did last year with the teams that didn't make the playoff, like Florida State and Georgia, put them head to head, whatever.
Yeah,
Like you've got Alabama playing Michigan, and you got Miami playing Iowa State. I don't
run
care.
up
Watch
to
those.
Alabama and Miami again.
Put those two together, or like Ole Miss is playing Duke. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Put Ole Miss against Miami.
I would have dug that.
That would actually be probably a fun matchup. I agree.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. I would probably watch that more than most of these playoff games.
Yeah, then I'm looking like rankings. Who else you could have put like Alabama up against?
Like, I love you, Muff, but I don't want to watch SMU.
Hey, listen, I don't care about watching
No, fuck it.
SMU. I
Put
want to watch
Alabama.
Penn State.
No, they should have put Alabama against Colorado and told Dion to shove it.
He would have blown that up though if he'd have won. Alex would have had a
Yeah, I don't want
stroke.
that.
Alex just wants that
No,
to be.
Colorado
Alex wants the
can be-
Colorado to be in this low-profile matchup that doesn't
Well,
have
they're
to be
not the low
watched.
pro matchup. They played the Storm and Mormons.
Pay BYU, Alex.
I think it's
Or
weird that it's
Utah.
like an inter
Yeah, it's an inter conference.
conference bowl game. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, they didn't play each other in the regular season.
Yeah, but still, I just don't like that.
No.
Like that's actually like bowl games. A good part about these bowl games is seeing teams that normally wouldn't play each other.
Right.
All
So
right, let's wrap this shit up. Let's get out of college football.
Scott Frost back at head coach at UCF on a 5-year deal, returning.
former national championship coach.
Former, yeah, exactly.
Potentially a precursor to Rich Rod going back to WVU. UNLV's Barry Odom is leaving to be the next head coach at Purdue.
Somebody's got to.
Marshall's Charles Huff was not offered a new contract after 4 consecutive bowl seasons and winning the Sun Belt. He's now becoming the next head coach at Southern Miss. Marshall announced they've hired Tony Gibson, who's now the former defensive coordinator at NC State and formerly at WVU. Alex?
Even the WVU coaches are going to Marshall, the real WVU.
North Carolina has interviewed Bill Belichick. It reports is that he'll accept the job if offered, and there may be some conditions such that his coach, Steve Belichick, is named coach in waiting.
I can't see Belichick coaching college football.
Me neither.
There was a Facebook post that said he was interested in the Ohio State job.
Well, I also saw a thing that said he's only interested in college football because his girlfriend's still at school.
Free tuition.
Wow.
That's terrible.
Would Ohio State really want Bill Belichick, Jim?
No. But there's
you
all
guys,
kinds
you
of
guys,
crazy
you
shit on
guys would,
Facebook, man.
you guys would, you guys.
I don't know.
would
They
hate
want Ryan
his
Day's
press
head so
conferences.
bad. They want Ryan Day's head so bad. They can hire Belichick and make Vrabel an assistant.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine those press conferences?
Oh my God.
The
It
media
would be
would
a
hate
culture change in the
Yeah.
town of Columbus.
They wouldn't have anything to have the skies falling because he'd never give them anything to
Nothing.
talk
And that whole Wednesday lunch with the coach thing that he does on the radio, that's not happening. Nope.
I don't know. Belichick's kind of opened up since he's not been coaching.
There's no way he does that. No way.
If he was,
He can't
maybe-
do college football. He can't. There's no way.
he needs a general manager. He needs his Andrew Luck. That's what he would need
Yeah.
to make that actually work for him, I think. Chase Herbstreit, son of Kirk Herbstreit, has committed to Michigan. And
Woo!
Columbus says
Whoa.
what, Jim? Columbus says what?
I don't know. I haven't really got the vibe.
It's like real life. Like, was he just an invited walk on? Like,
No, he actually retweeted it.
define committed though. Like, is he an invited walk on? Like, there's no way they're giving him a scholarship, right?
I don't know. I mean,
Dude,
it
I
was
don't know
on
how the
that.
NLs
It was on that recruiting page, and he retweeted it and
Like, I feel like if
shared it and said, "Oh, I'm proud of you," whatever, blah blah blah.
I feel like if he is, he's just like this is like a spite scholarship from Michigan, like just to be like, ha 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 ha.
Columbus. What do you believe the tenor of the Columbus people is going to be on this, Jim?
So, and I don't know how many years back, but many a year back, there was so much heat for Herb Street because he said some negative things, and the fan base was so negative that he moved out of Ohio, or he got another house out of Ohio,
Mhm.
Well,
right?
his son. Well, I think he's still in Ohio because his son went to a high school in Cincinnati.
That is true, but he got another house. He got a house in Tennessee. Uh, He he catches a lot of smoke from Columbus, a lot.
So it should come
So
as no surprise that this was an outcome.
I'm not happy about it.
Why don't you give the listeners a PG-13 animation of your text when this was announced?
I
Talk
said
ill of the deceased. Just saying.
I said screw him and his dogs too.
I told you, you leave Ben out of this.
Nah, screw that dog.
I then
Oh, you
had
mean
to
the
make sure
dogs,
everybody knew.
Bruce Cats?
I had to make sure everybody knew that Ben was dead in the text, and Jim doubled down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jim goes, yeah, I don't care. He probably screws cats.
And then Jim's dog got brought into it, and it got ugly.
yeah.
So, moving on from that, Western Kentucky quarterback TJ Finley will no longer be a Hilltopper as he announced he's entering the transfer portal again. He will now be a former LSU, Auburn, Texas State, and Western Kentucky player.
Alex, is that moonshine?
Yes. I was just gonna say I had to go get some shine out of the
I
fridge.
don't know, Muff. He still might be a hilltop if he goes with the D2 route.
Hilltopper.
Hilltopper.
This, I feel like this is one of those perfect examples of the transfer portal just having a total disservice to college football and players.
I agree. I think that you should be limited almost. Like, is there a way to make a rule? Like,
Yeah, this will be his fifth school wherever he ends up. Right? I think that's a bit much.
Oh, and I
Uh,
think it's a testament on these schools for taking him on. Like, if he's
that's
going
true.
to a fifth school, that should tell you something.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get into our winners and losers of the week.
Okay.
Let's just do it. Let's start with Jim.
The winners, Penn State, because even when you lose, you win. You got a nice easy ride in the playoffs. Losers, the Herb Street family,
Because.
because you allowed your son to commit to that team up north.
Okay. All right, Nate.
My winners are the ACC because you let Clemson win this game and got yourself two teams in there. I think if Clemson didn't win, they only would have had one team, obviously, in their SMU. My losers are UNLV. You lost second time of the year to Mountain West champion Boise. Your coach left you. And the other thing I forgot to put in there was I think it was the quarterback for UNLV said, I don't even know where Boise is on a map. So every time they sacked him, they showed like a Google image view of like going from Earth, zooming in all the way down to the blue turf on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that.
That was funny.
Um, yeah, that was good. My winners, Big 12, Arizona State. For such an up and down season in the league, obviously, being a season ticket holder at WV with Alex, I was paying a little bit more attention than I typically would. The fact that they come out of this with a first round bye, I think, is a pretty big deal for the Big 12. And in my losers, the OSU faithful, because Chase Herbstreit and the Herbstreit family done did it.
When on that Arizona State note, um, I think I saw a thing. They were picked last in the preseason polls for the Big 12.
Yeah, it was like a 0.7% chance
mhm.
for them to do what they've done thus far.
Good on him.
It's good. All right, Alex, who you got?
My winner was also Arizona State, finishing strong and at least looking like the Big 12 had one good team to put forward. Thank you for picking up our slack. And my loser is Alabama for missing the playoffs. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha.
All right.
All right, we'll have I mean next week we maybe have some commitment discussions to have and maybe a little bit of a preview for what will be in the college football playoff and other bowl games. Aside from that, we're gonna have kind of a week away from results in college football aside from the Army Navy game to really chat about, yeah?
At the
Yep.
FCS.
I guess we could talk about the FCS. You,
You got D2 and D3.
Alex,
Liam
Nate.
Button.
Nate is the Liam Blutman. You're correct. You know who we're talking about, Nate?
Nope.
Oh, you are that person. You watch
But,
Unnecessary Roughness, and you will know what we're. You only
but
need
no,
to probably listen to 20 minutes, and you'll get it.
but no, we do actually have one local-ish Division II team still alive.
Ah, yes, yes. All right, that brings us to
Who is it?
NFL Week 14. Before we get
Wait,
into
who's the
that,
team on it?
What's that, Alex?
Who is it?
Slippery Rock.
Oh, I haven't paid attention. Okay,
The
go on.
Rock. First in the NFL, our thoughts and prayers with Randy Moss, his family, stepping away from NFL Countdown. Unknown exactly what's going on. We're not going to speculate, but we hope that Randy recovers quickly.
True.
Texans linebacker Aziz Al-Shahir suspended 3 games in the fallout of his hit on Trevor Lawrence. Do we think this 3 game suspension is warranted and fair? Let's start
Yes.
with our Texans fan, Jim.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, that was a dirty hit.
Alex.
Yes.
Nate.
At first, I thought no, and then I saw the compilation of all of his other antics. And I was like, yeah, this is warranted.
Yeah. And as the internet world does, everyone went straight to John Runyon's clips, a specific clip where he jumps over the pile and says, "How is this the man that can suspend anybody?" Well, yeah, it takes one to know one as far as somebody who can put that type of film out there. So I think this was fair. This is what I expected it to be. I don't know if he's appealed or it was even appealable.
I don't know because I think they were on a bye this week, so we probably didn't hear much about it.
Yeah, you're right. So we'll see where this ends up if there is any additional chatter, or if this is a done deal. And lastly, the Ravens suspend Deontay Johnson for 1 game, conduct detrimental to the team. Just got there from Carolina, already making all sorts of friends in Baltimore.
Just another example of how much control Mike Tomlin has over his locker room.
And apparently, potentially the draft issues that they bring in unnecessarily. Goes a little bit both ways, I think.
I'm
Um,
thinking about the positives.
what's that, Alex?
I'm thinking about the positives.
Okay, that's fair. All right, this brings into the NFL scores for this week, starting with Thursday night football as Dem Lions get a win against the Packers 34-31 in a back and forth entertaining game.
They didn't cover, but they won. Lions keep rolling.
Yeah, wish they'd covered.
More to come on that on Wednesday.
More to come. More to come on Wednesday. Lions again in a pretty good spot right now. Are there any additional concerns or concerns moving forward with the Lions defense?
I mean, given all their injuries, they're kind of setting themselves up to be severely let down.
That's what I'm worried about for all of the Lions faithful is they're going to persist, survive, and then get to the playoffs and play against a team that just has more firepower. So I hope that doesn't happen. I hope the Lions are successful this year, but things are trending not as they were 3 weeks ago. Next in Sunday football, we have the Saints beating the Giants 14-11. New Orleans blocked what would have been the game-tying field goal from the Giants to send the game into overtime. Saints get the win. Who was
If you're
starting
a
at quarterback
Giants
for the
fan,
Giants?
Drew Lock.
Okay, go ahead, Jim.
if you're a Giants fan, how bad do you hate life?
Well, did you see that there was some plane about the message to the owner or something before the game, and they asked Malik Neighbors about it? He goes, "I didn't pay for it."
That was a pretty good post-game comment. I agree. Yeah, this is just all bad. I don't know what it's going to take for the Giants and their host stadium partners, which we'll talk about here shortly. The Vikings beat the Falcons 42-21 as Sam Darnold spoils Kirk Cousins' return with a big game, 347 yards, 5 touchdowns, all of them either went to Jordan Addison, who had three, or Justin Jefferson, who had two. Kirk Cousins, zero touchdowns, eight interceptions in his last four games.
He's on the struggle bus.
Does this put any confidence or more confidence back into the Vikings?
I mean,
It's a solid win.
if they can perform offensively like that, then watch out. But still, between them and Green Bay and Detroit, it's like, man, you just hate to be in that freaking division right now. Like, because they're what? Well, no, they're still going to be a wild card team. But still, it's like thinking to yourself, man, you're like 10-3 or 11-2, and you're sitting in the freaking wild card right now.
Yeah. You don't expect that one on the bingo card at the beginning of the season, if you can call that, after week 14.
No, and I think they're still overachieving for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I agree they're overachieving, but good for them. Next, we have the Eagles dispatching of the pesky Panthers, 22-16. Panthers keep sticking around in these games, making at the very least their presence known. For the Eagles, they continue their winning ways. We'll start real quick. What's been going on with the Panthers, especially over the past 3 to 4 weeks? Something truly positive for Bryce Young to build on for next year, and the Panthers to have at least some level of confidence coming out of this season and preparing for next year?
Yeah, between him starting to play better and Chuba Herbert's playing well and signing a new deal, you just got to get him some weapons, I think. Adam Thielen's not getting any younger. You got that rookie, Xavier Legette, first-year head coach. So, yeah, I agree. There's stuff to build on for Bryce Young. It's just a matter of getting people to come to Carolina.
And what about the Eagles? Eagles are one of those teams that's just keeps winning, but not getting a whole lot of attention in the national spotlight right now.
Well, did you see the post game with what's his name? The receiver, not Devontae Smith, the AJ Brown.
I did not.
They were asking him about the game, and he's like, "Yeah, we need to work on our passing."
Good.
I think Jalen only had like 100 some yards passing today, like low hundreds.
Yeah, some people are starting to get pissed.
Well, yeah, because receivers are divas.
Sure. Particular situation, can't say otherwise. All right, the Jaguars beat the Titans 10-6.
That happened.
That is about what I feel about this one. In overtime, the Dolphins beat the Jets 32-26 as tight end Jonnu Smith had three catches, including the game-winning touchdown in overtime after he had no catches in regulation.
Thank goodness, because I had him on. Well, nothing matters. I'm going to lose anyway, but he was my fantasy tight end this week in one of my leagues.
Yeah, but you definitely need him. The Jets relinquished a lead. I believe they were up at one point in this game by 10 points. So we go to win there. The Dolphins needed this win, right? They need this win to at least stay in the hunt column of the graphic that you see on this. So the Jets continue to jet. The defense let them down again, and they will be missing the playoffs for the 14th straight season, which is the longest streak in major United States sports, which I guess gives us some level of solace to take from this as Pirates fans on this show don't have that distinction at least, right, Alex and Nate?
Oh, that's
Yeah, it
something.
hasn't been 14 years, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We will get there. All right, Nate, your Bucks beat the Raiders 28-13. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are Baker needs to take better care of the football. From not being able to watch the game, he had two more interceptions and lost the fumble. So, you need to take better care of the ball if you think you're going to get any better. But get another win against a team you should have beaten. A couple more injuries. I saw Antoine Winfield left the game early, as well as Bucky Irving, who was questionable coming into the game anyway. So, just trying to stay healthy and hopefully win the South and host the playoff game, which, as we just said about the Vikings, I don't know if they want to play the Vikings right now. But I don't know. And then I'm worried about Mike not getting the 1,000 yards this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
great.
That hamstring injury, I think, killed his chances.
Yep. And for the Raiders, Aiden O'Connell went out in this one. Looks to be that Desmond Ridder may be the guy for the rest of the season for the Raiders. To say it's probably going to be betting against the Raiders a lot moving forward. The Steelers beat the Browns 27 to 14, and the Lord did deliver Jameis Winston from throwing pick sixes, but not from throwing interceptions. As the Steelers win the AFC North matchup without George Pickens, who was a late scratch in this one with a hamstring injury. Steelers find another way to get a win. They avenge
Yeah,
the most recent loss to the Browns. Alex, how are you feeling about the Steelers?
good. I think we're doing fine. Joey Porter Jr. is driving me nuts because he has talent. He just cannot behave himself. I mean, like,
He's a
dude,
porter.
I know, but the apple did not fall far from the tree. But come on, man. Like, I don't remember Joey Porter with this many untimely. At least, like, it wasn't as untimely when he decided to do dumb shit. And George Pickens was on both my fantasy teams. And
Ooh,
thankfully, last second, I took a peek because that was late. That was late and unexpected. He wasn't even questionable.
Do we think he was actually injured?
that's the speculation, Nate, is that he was
I know.
not,
That's
and
why I'm asking the
they just
question.
didn't want him to be involved in this game based on how the game ended a few weeks ago.
That's why I asked the question. So, do you really think he was hurt?
I think everybody's got a little bit of an ailing injury right now, and it's just how much are we going to blow this up? So,
Yep, we took care of business. Moving.
Well, I think Romo made a point in this one that kind of like covered their ass. They're like, oh, well, if he really did tweak it and practice on Friday, they probably thought that they can handle this one, Jim. And they got the tough schedule
They
coming up
do.
and Kansas City and Baltimore again, Cincinnati again.
Yeah, we're about to stretch. I think this next stretch will really like if we can take care of business against like definitely the Ravens, play Kansas City tough. I don't know. I think we need to, this next stretch will show us if we're actually contenders or if we're just
Pretenders.
yeah.
good. All right, Alex. Seahawks take the Cardinals down 30 to 18. Seahawks keep their division lead behind Geno Smith.
Yep. Geno Smith, Mountaineer, division leader. That's all I have to say. Facts
Uh,
are right there on paper.
Kenneth Walker did not play in this game.
It was
Seahawks
still
still
on.
persist and make
Well,
it
when you have
happen.
Geno Smith, you don't need a running back.
All right, Alex.
We have
Any other anything else you want to prop Geno Smith up on your shoulders to do? We
no, that's
good?
all
I
for
thought I
me.
saw on pregame on the NFL today, they said that he's never lost to the Cardinals.
Hmm.
I don't know. I didn't get to watch.
All right, and in the most fun matchup of the day, a high-scoring affair, a back and forth between the Rams and the Bills. The Rams ultimately take this one 44 to 42. In a losing effort, Josh Allen becomes the first player to have three throwing and three rushing touchdowns in the same game. This game featured zero turnovers and only one punt, which happened in the final 6 seconds, which was only done to run the clock out.
Yeah,
Rams stay alive.
my dad had Josh Allen on his two fantasy teams today and was definitely feeling that.
It's a good day. It's a
Is
good
this
day.
cause for concern for the Bills?
I don't think so. I think they traveled. They traveled to the West Coast. The Rams, the Rams have been an up and down team. I would call them like the Big 12 team of the NFL. Like they show up some games and some games they just toss a dud out. So I don't think this is a big deal for the Bills. I think this is just they got today.
All I know is my boss is from upstate New York and she hates the Bills. So maybe she'll be in a good mood tomorrow morning.
Find out, won't we? Oh, you will. You may let
No.
us know.
Yeah,
TBD.
we'll see.
Um, and in the other game on Sunday afternoon, we had the 49ers beating the Bears 38 to 13. I don't think the Niners are officially eliminated, so they're still showing some fight against the Bears.
No, if they lost this one, I was going to stick a fork in it.
All right. Sunday Night Football, live looking. Chargers at Chiefs is
showing a bridge.
It's 6-0 Chiefs with 7 minutes left in the half. 7:47 left in the half. Kind of boring.
What bridge was it,
But
Nate?
Alex, who's kicking off?
I didn't look. I'm following on a game tracker.
Justin Reed has been kicking off for the Chiefs.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hmm.
6-0 Chiefs. Monday Night Football. We have the Bengals at the Cowboys and the Simpsons altcast.
Oh boy.
Is anybody excited? Uh, Joe Burrow is going to be Bart Simpson, right?
I can see the resemblance.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy's going to be what's the guy at the bar?
Mo? Is that?
Is it the drunk guy at the bar with the big belly?
Oh, no.
Barney.
No.
That's the one. I feel like we got to make Mike McCarthy that guy. What other comps do we have from The Simpsons to this game?
I don't know if you want to go down that route, bud.
I just purely
I think you
asking.
should probably stop where you're at.
Oh boy.
You don't think Montgomery Burns is going to be
Jerry
Jerry
Jones.
Jones?
That's good. That's a good one.
Homer? Who do we think Homer?
I can see that being McCarthy.
You're right. That's not
I was
bad,
gonna say
McCarthy.
that.
All right. I've already seen some of these characters. I mean, they've actually put some real life people. I think I saw Mina Kimes was pretty pumped that she had a character for this game. So I'll be interested to see what else they do with this one. Leading into other interesting news in sports.
Other
Interesting news and sports.
sports.
In a local sports flavor, Nate, take it away.
So, Wheeling University women's rugby team wins the national championship over the weekend. I
Division
believe,
One, Division One national
yes,
championship.
Division One. However they played, I have no idea, but according to Muff, they play everybody. And high school football action, Cameron High School advances to the West Virginia Class Single A Championship for the first time in school history. They will be taking the field in Charleston on Friday afternoon against Wahama.
Bermuda, Bahama, come on, pretty mama.
Where is Wahama, Nate?
Somewhere in West Virginia, Muff.
Okay, I didn't know if it was. I'm guessing
The only thing I know is that it is the alma mater of Anthony Bond,
okay. Fair
former
enough.
West Virginia baseball pitcher. Indian Valley High School, somewhat local in Ohio, wins their first state championship and brings the first state championship to Tuscarawas County. And the reason I put this in there was because their running back is a freaking beast. So I had them in the regional semifinal, and Grady Kinsey in the state championship rushed for almost 250 yards and 5 touchdowns. Finished the year with over 3,000 yards, 45 touchdowns, averages 216 yards a game and almost 12 yards a carry. And he's a junior.
So where's he going to go to school?
When I did their game, I heard that he already had an offer from Kent State, which I'm hoping he turns down. But yeah, I mean, the only thing that people can say is that he's undersized, but the dude runs hard. If you have not watched him, watch him on YouTube. Any game you can find of Indian Valley, this dude does not go down on first contact. And apparently, he even said after the game in the post-game interview, he's looking forward to getting healthy. So he must not have been playing at 100% these past few weeks either.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And in the local hockey world, Nate, what do we got?
The Wheeling Nailers are riding an 11-game winning streak here. They're currently 15-3-1, first in the division, third in the Eastern Conference, and third in the ECHL as a whole.
I went last Saturday to their game and they looked good too. Like they won. They were exciting, like fun. So here's the good Nailers.
It's good. Alex just judges everything from a Big 12 perspective. It's the
That's
good version of Nailers.
Time
I
of
like
my life.
And in the NHL, the Penguins aren't dead yet.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's at least some hope. They've won 5 of the past 6 games. Jim, how are your Kraken doing?
50-50. 50-50. Depends on what Kraken show up.
See,
Are we seeing everything now through Alex's Big 12 lens?
That's what I do. Yeah.
See, isn't it make life more fun?
Yeah.
That's something. All right. Anything else to chat about tonight, gents?
Former Pirate Dave Parker, Hall of Famer.
Did what?
No, he was elected to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay. I thought,
I was like,
I thought there was like another piece to this. I was waiting for like some terrible
No, it
news to
was
drop.
no. It was him and some other guy got in as like whatever they call that other not like the modern era players.
It's not the legends.
No, it's the I can't remember. I'm
But he
trying to
did.
find it. I thought I saw, but him and some other guys. So congratulations, Dave Parker.
There we go. Pirates have something to cheer for this offseason. And we have something to cheer for over the next few weeks with all sorts of meaningful NFL action, as well as the college bowl season getting started and the college football playoff as we lead into the Christmas season, New Year's Day, all of the fun. And we hope that you're going to continue to join us throughout the holidays. Turn us on when you're driving around from place to place in whatever the vehicle of your choice is. And make sure that while you're doing that, you tell a friend, make a friend,
Be
be a
uh
friend.